I would like to share a couple of excerpts from an old book that I have. It's called Making the House a Home by Edgar A. Guest, copyright 1922. We have been building a home for the last 15 years, but it begins to look now as though it will not be finished for many years to come. This is not because the contractors are slow or the materials scarce or because we keep changing our minds. Rather, it is because it takes years to build a home, whereas a house can be built in a few months. As the weeks and months slipped by, the new house began to soften and mellow under Mother's gentle touches. The living room assumed an air of comfort. My books now had a real corner of their own, the guest chamber, or rather the little spare room. Already had entertained its transient tenants, and as our friends came and went, the walls caught something from them all to remind us of their presence. I took to gardening. The grounds were small, but they were large enough to teach me the joy of an intimate friendship with growing things. Today, in my somewhat larger garden, I have more than 150 rose bushes and 20 or 30 peony clumps, and I know their names and their habits. The garden has become a part of the home. It is not yet the garden I dream of, nor even the garden which I think it will be next year, but it is the place where play divides the ground with beauty. I just loved how he worded that, and it hit a special place in my heart. I felt it worthy of sharing with you. I would also like to add, I feel what makes a house of home, of course, are the people dwelling within inside. The children, animals. We have a dog and a cat currently living with us that we think of as family members. And now we have grandchildren. So you will also find scattered around my home decor, you're going to find some toys. And I just love that. I feel that is part of what makes a house a home. Both Mark and I love do-it-yourself projects. We love to at least attempt. And I really enjoy repurposing items. Some of you may remember when I thrifted this needlepoint picture. I just loved it. Of course, I love anything nautical. So I decided to repurpose this. Now, instead of just framing the needlepoint canvas, I decided to try to make it into a pillow. I love anything nautical, and I wanted to add it to my nautical decor in my dining room. So that's exactly what I am doing here. I am sewing the materials right sides together, and then I just turned it right side out and stuffed it with some polyfill that I had on hand, and I'm pleased with how it turned out. It fits in perfect with my nautical decor, and it cost me, quite honestly, very little. A pillow like this, you could pay at least $40 for, I'm sure. Now, another project I did recently is I took these antique bottles that I had. They were actually from Maine, and I turned them into little bud vases. I embellished them with some clay ornaments that I had made and some twine, and I just love the little accent on what is typically just an old antique bottle. Now, Mark's forte is woodworking. He truly enjoys it and is very good at it. He has made so many things for us throughout the years. I recently shared one of his projects with you, and that is making a fence for our new cottage garden. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share that with you. We have done quite a bit of work on it. It is completed for this year. I will be adding plants next year, but for now we are done. So I'm going to share that with you. So let's go inside, and I'm going to share with you today how I have switched over to my summer decor. And I have chosen to do my favorite, which is nautical. I love nautical decor, and I have sprinkled in some of my other favorite cottage decor. And I will say roughly, 98% of what you are going to see has been thrifted. Okay, enjoy! Okay, friends, well, as promised, I am going to show you where we are on our little cottage garden. Today is the 4th of July, and oh my goodness, can we just bottle up this weather? It has been absolutely incredible all day. So we have been working front yard, backyard, all over the place. So let me start here. We decided to do a little hedge of boxwoods. Now, I would also like to state neither Mark or I are master gardeners by any means. We are self-taught, we learn as we go, and we have a lot of fun with it. So these here are 3 hydrangeas that we planted. Oh my goodness, I bet they're about 3 years old. So they're doing pretty good here. And so this is just the front. This lights up at night. It's a little solar light. So back over here then. Now, what we decided to do, as I started to say, is to do just a little hedgerow here of the boxwoods. We only have 3 stones in so far. We are getting them from throughout our property, so we just haven't had time. So eventually we are going to be curving it around. Now, Mark also had decided he wanted to put in a little drip system here for watering. Now, of the 2 of us, I will tell you, he's even less knowledgeable of plants and gardens. So I'm just noticing here, he has some that are higher. As an example, I don't want the roses being watered from the top. I'd prefer to have those being dripped at the bottom so the water is not getting on the leaves. But as I'll just show you a little bit of what we have planted so far. All of these are new. I did not want to bring anything in from my other gardens because I inherited bishop's weed here. Do any of you know what bishop's weed is? If you know, you know. I had it in Michigan. You cannot get rid of it. And it loves to be transferred to other places and spread. So all of these I'm doing is brand new, and we will just add as we go along. Like I said, I'm going to add some more stone here just to make it a little path. Here is the fence that Mark made. I'm going to show you some clips here of what he did. As you can see, he did add copper tops. We had this copper. We actually inherited this copper. It came with the house. It was left over from the eaves troughs on our house. So Mark decided to go ahead and make some toppers. As you know, I love copper inside and out. So we decided to do the copper because it adds a bit of a decoration, but also it is going to add some protection. Mark cut every one of these posts by hand. He did a great job. I am so excited. But let's go down to the road. I want to show you from the front. So we did add 2 of these plants. I thought they were just beautiful. I was not familiar with them before. So they flower in the spring and then they berry and turn more orange in the fall, is what it said. It is called pumpkin hypericum. I'm not positive how you say that. I was not familiar with this plant, so we did purchase 2. We put one at this end and then one at the very other end. So I think that will add a little bit of color, especially in the fall. So that is what it looks like from down here. I do feel it certainly adds something to the house. I am delighted with the style. We decided to go with, like I told you a couple of videos ago, we got the idea from touring Deerfield, Massachusetts, and looking at all of the fences, and some had beautiful gates on them throughout that adorable little village. So this is the update at this point, friends. As you can see, I do have plenty of space to fill in. I don't know that I will add any more plants this year. I'm going to kind of wait and see how everything does, how it fills in. So maybe next year I will just add a little more, a little at a time. As you know, plants are a bit pricey, especially perennials, but it's hopefully once and done. So anyway, okay, that is our little cottage garden so far. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I truly appreciate it. I did want to mention also that we are expecting a house full of guests this week, so I am going to be taking off next week as far as creating another video. But until then, we will see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.